Ramsey Nijum, back with the coach and the casual. We back at it with my co-host, as per usual, the one and only Kyle Deaver. Let's get back into this game.
There we back. We are back.
We're back.
Yeah, it has been a long hiatus. When was I was talking to Stover earlier. Our last time we dropped was May.
And what month are we in?
March.
Fuck.
10 months. Sheesh.
Bro, I think we need to address what happened. All right. We don't make money doing this, guys.
Yeah.
We both have real jobs.
Yeah.
And we got to go to work, dude.
And the thing is, honestly, it was probably one of the most fun. I was telling the guys afterwards, we were both really bummed out to have this thing go away. Things at the pit started going really well. We're getting a lot of UFC guys in there. I mean, the amount of UFC guys that you had coming through the pit was for PFL. And who are all the guys that you hosted at the pit?
Then we had the Patricio Pitbull brothers for the PFL, Ghazi in a bunch of his camps, which is the PFL champ.
Yeah.
We had all the Dagestanis in there, which was awesome. Pereira, Pereira twice in there.
You were hosting Cejudo there for a while?
Yeah, Cejudo came out. Then we had, what's his name? Loudmouth. Oh, Kevin Holland. So we had Kevin Holland. What? Oh, and then of course. And then the other one I forgot was Roman Dzeski and then Sean Strickland. So we had Roman up there for a while, but he refuses to do a podcast. He said, he's like, I don't do podcasts. I play chess. You want to play chess again?
Dude, he's actually like, of all those dudes, who would you say is like, you want to spar with the least?
Roman.
Roman's a monster.
And dude, there's only one go with him. It's kill or be killed today. And he was beating the shit out of my guys, bro. And but you know what's funny? My guys loved it. And then they went and fought one of them. Like, he used this one kid for his main training partner. And then his first fight, he was like, bro, I ain't scared of anything. He's like, I fought Roman. Roman's the scariest guy I've ever met. I was like, for sure. He just knocked the dude out in 30 seconds.
And it's been a lot of things. I mean, we always mix this with actual UFC content and the pit stuff. I like talking about the pit stuff. Since then, Talon dropped the belt, he regained the belt, dropped the belt.
Yeah, he regained the belt, dropped the belt, and then he just fought again and finished the guy in like 10 seconds. Broke the dude's nose. Whoa. I was like, I didn't want to look at him after. I was scared of him. Monsters. He's a monster. And then Julian, we've had him. He was on the PFL. He ended up losing that fight. Then he ended up just losing a really close fight where he was winning, got caught, dropped. And it's hard, man. This sport, there is no forgiveness. But I mean, he's a beast. He'll be back. We just get a lot of people at our gym though, or like a lot of amateurs. So a lot of people doing like jiu-jitsu tournaments. The D's still not in there. You still haven't been in there, bro. You haven't been training.
I'm waiting for your super
What
heavyweight
you been doing, bro?
Dude. The things with my other company, it's had me flying around a lot. We're growing fast.
Well, what about the fun stuff, the podcasting, though?
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of stuff. So we produced the podcast for Cejudo and Kelvin Gastelum, the Spanish one. So that's had us flying around a lot, meeting a lot of guys. But
getting back to your Mexican roots.
Yeah, we're going to Mexico this next week. But yeah, dude, honestly, what I've always
You're going to the Mexico City fight, right?
Yeah, I'm going to fly down. I'm just going to fly down at the end of the month.
Okay.
Kelvin's fighting.
Yeah.
Kelvin's fighting, and then it's also a bunch of guys. Lazy Boy's fighting? I think so. A bunch of guys are fighting on that one.
And so you got a Spanish podcast with those guys, and they 100% Spanish?
Yeah, I mean, I produce. I don't speak Spanish.
No, yeah, what do you just sit there while they're talking?
Basically, I just I watch Diego, who's the Spanish speaker, and I'm like...
Our producer.
I basically try and figure out what's going on there. But, yeah, dude...
it reminds me of my childhood. Like, I would go with my family on my mom's side. They all speak Spanish. I don't speak any Spanish. Sit there quietly. Go on my dad's side. They all speak Arabic. I don't speak any Arabic. So I just sit there quietly. Never knew what's going on.
Not true about that is you sitting quietly because you never shut the hell up.
Yeah, that's true. All right, that's fair.
But the big point is like...
I use my hands.
I think we've talked about it a lot this whole time. It's like both of us were having a blast with it. We had to figure something out. We've made a couple of adjustments, but honestly, our goal was to go to 500 episodes. I mean, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to do this.
Honestly, bro, and it's so much fun. Like, it's just... And even like how we just do it, like come down to Vegas. It gives us a good reason. Go to the fights, and it keeps me involved in the sport that I love. Like, at the end of the day, I love MMA. Oh, I might be doing a jiu-jitsu match, so I've been training a little bit of that.
That's who?
Bro, they want to go against this world champ. That's what, he was like 50 and won last year, won a bunch of worlds. His name's Gabriel, and he's just straight jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, bro, I haven't competed in anything for 5 years.
Will there be like betting action on that?
Bro, if you bet against me, I'll lose.
I'd happily bet against you.
Yeah, if there's betting action on that, bro, I'll take half.
Even if I told you I bet on you, I'd still bet against you and just plan on you to lose.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I might lose. I'm being honest. Like, I'm kind of scared about it. Like, after I agreed upon it, I was like, oh fuck.
Oh, you agreed on it?
I mean, I haven't signed anything, but yeah.
At what weight?
That's the problem. He's a lot smaller, the guy. So it'd be like, I will not cut a fucking pound. Like, I don't cut weight anymore.
But there was a time too. I mean, I know we're playing a bunch of catch up, but there was a time too where your back was really effed up, and now it's gotten cleaned up.
And that was kind of the problem, bro. I was in a lot of pain, dude. I herniated 2 discs. Oof. Shout out to my doctor, Dr. Robert England. He's got a sports medicine. He's a non-surgical orthopedic.
Do you know that Robert England is the name of the actor who played Freddy Krueger?
Really?
Fun fact.
I mean, I think Dr. Bob could be Freddy Krueger. He's like such a nice guy. Yeah. And I'm like, just so nice, bro. Like maybe, you know, he's always there on time at the gym. He's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. And
beat his ass, but okay.
And you know what's funny? Actually, so I herniated my disc. I was wrestling with Ghazi, the Dagestani guys.
Yeah.
And it went out, and I was in so much pain. And I kept on like just pushing through it. And then Dr. Bob, he trains at my gym. He's like, come in, come see me. And I was like, nah, I don't trust any doctor. You guys are a bunch of you guys are a bunch of wusses. Like, I could kick the shit out of you. And then the day he beat my ass one day because I was in so much pain, he's like, you ready to come in? I was like, yeah. Fucking one shot, boom. Put my disc back in. I feel good, man.
Well, it's good to be back. Let's just jump straight into our normal flow. We'll talk about some current events. I actually am not too informed on what even TKO is and the whole Dana thing. Inform me.
Well, that's like the company that owns the UFC / WWE.
Oh yeah. So I saw the WWE.
Yeah, it's like TKO Holding, right, Stove? And then so TKO and Dana just made a deal with the Turkish, who's that?
Oh, making their own boxing league.
Making their own boxing league. And Dana said, because we were talking to Glover, and Glover's like, that's what drew him away from boxing is no one fighting, but he loves boxing. So Dana said it's going to be all the best boxers, and the best have to fight the best. They got the cash. I mean, they got the Saudi money. Yeah. Like, why not, bro? Like, I think it would be exciting.
You think he signs Francis?
So that's what no. I don't know, though. But, like, here's the thing with the UFCs, like, at the end of the day, they are business.
Yeah.
Like Dana said, I would never have I'd never have girl fights, Yeah. And at one point when the business is business, it makes sense. Yeah. And just like he said, I won't have any of my UFC guys going over, and he's going to keep his UFC guys UFC. But then you got to think about it like for investors, like they can't be like starting a new league and they're like, oh, the stars are now going to leave the UFC and go to you know what I mean? So I think he has to say that.
Yeah, but they will. I mean, it's almost like the PFL, where the PFL allowed Francis to fight boxing as long as he agreed to, hey, can you eat those chips a little louder, Julian?
Yeah. Seriously.
But
speaking of Julian, fuck.
But it's almost like how PFL allowed him to go do boxing as long as he agreed to do these fights. I bet they'll do some crossover.
Yeah, bro. Like, how much, and just like, what does everybody want to see? They just been talking about Usyk, or what's his name?
Yeah, Usyk.
Usyk, yeah. Usyk and Pereira, like that would be $1 billion fight.
Not to mention that, Dana's got a really good relationship now. Who's that big English guy? The Gypsy King?
Oh, yeah, the Gypsy King.
What's his name?
Bro, did you see that video of when he met Alex Pereira? Like, he looks at him, and he looks him up and down. He goes, you're a lot bigger than I expected. Because like Alex is bigger than him,
6'6".
bro.
I thought he would have been bigger than Alex.
Me too, bro. Until I saw him square up on that video, and then Tyson Fury like, you're a lot bigger than I thought you would be. So, that was, I don't know, man. I think like we'll see a lot of crossover. Yeah.
How does Alex cross over into boxing? This is what I was trying to explain. We were having a conversation before with
Glover?
Yeah, we were having a conversation with Glover where, I was trying to explain this concept, but basically, don't you think he's going to have the muscle memory, Alex, that being able to take out the kicks and the way he sets it up is impossible. He's a kickboxer.
Bro, have you seen that video of him boxing? What's the guy that he was boxing? The world champ. It was that big, the big Chinese guy, Zhang. There's a video of him boxing Zhang, who's a legit world champ, coming up, it's boxing. Yeah, and he knocked out. He's just coming off a nasty knockout. But then that's tough to say because everybody's been knocking out Wilder. So then you're like, all right. But Alex and him were sparring, and he hit Alex a few times, but Alex got his licks in, so it wasn't non-competitive.
Alex, we're dropping this here in a day or two, and he's about to fight. So I guess we'll talk about it. I want to just jump into talking about his fight.
Alex versus Ankalaev. Bro, that is a wild fight.
The problem is, you guys are so self-assured. We were talking to a guy earlier. You guys are so self-assured that Ankalaev is going to go straight to the wrestling. Why? Because everybody who should have been grappling with Alex has tried to stand and bang with him and gotten put out.
I think one of the reasons is because, Ali's in his corner, and Ali's going to tell him to go out there and wrestle.
Yeah.
Ali's a legit black belt, and he knows his game, bro. And he's an involved manager. He puts his guys through gnarly workouts. I've been part of those workouts. They're hard. And he helps game plan and stuff. So I really believe Ali's just in his ear constantly wrestle, brother, wrestle, wrestle. And I think Ankalaev, he got slept by, who did he get slept by, Soph? Or
Yuri?
He hasn't been knocked out.
Oh, no, he hasn't been knocked out. That's right. No. He has one loss, though, right?
He lost to Paul Craig in 2018.
Oh, yeah, it's submission. That's right, yeah. So he got submitted by Paul Craig.
Then he had that draw with Paul.
Then the draw with Blachowicz. And so that's and
with who?
Johan Blachowicz.
Oh,
bro, I can't say it.
Let's never have him on the podcast.
Yeah, bro, no way I could intro his name. I'll just say this big Polish bastard. But they had a draw, which was super competitive. But Alex had it was decently competitive too with Alex and the Polish guy. They had a very competitive fight in Salt Lake.
Split decision.
Decision, yeah.
I think it's just because I don't know. I don't know who can beat Alex right now. I guess we haven't seen much of his ground game, but you've trained around him. How's his ground game? How's his stuffing?
Better than expected. And like I said, bro, he's crazily strong. He's kind of awkwardly strong. It doesn't make sense how strong. Glover is a strong dude. And you look at Glover and you're like, this guy is really strong. And when you feel Glover and you wrestle with him, it's like a freaking bear. But when Alex gets a hold of you, he's like a wiry, freaking chimpanzee or something. Yeah. So it's just a different level of strong. And I think his aura is too much.
I saw somebody, it's like fighting the boogeyman.
Yeah.
It's scary. I saw somebody saying that alcoholism is the best base for MMA because they have
it is,
him,
dude.
they have John Jones.
Yeah.
There was somebody else on there, but basically alcoholism is the best base.
Do you know who Joe Daddy Stevens is?
No.
He's an OG. He fought BJ Penn for the title and got his ass beat. And then the video, BJ Penn had him all bloody, licking his gloves. That was against Joe Daddy. And Joe Daddy was on the ultimate.
Joe Daddy? Is he an Asian guy or what?
No, he's a little white guy, badass, bro. He was
Joe Daddy?
Joe Stevenson.
Oh, okay.
His nickname is Joe Daddy, yeah. And Joe Daddy was on the Ultimate Fighter with me, and he was telling me the first fight he ever fought sober was against BJ Penn. And he never won sober once. So after that, he got sober, and he never won another fight. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Maybe he won one, but I'm pretty sure.
Sober in general, he wasn't drunk during fights.
Yeah, no, he would get drunk during fights. He was a raging alcoholic, and he'd be showing up because you'd sneak, I guess, booze somehow in there because they watch. It's against the rules, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Or maybe he was just sober then. I don't know. I
think he's saying sober in general. He couldn't have been going into the cage.
Yeah, because you might pop for alcohol. They can pop for that.
A day of.
Yeah, so maybe you'd have to be out the night before getting. Hey, we just had Glover on here, Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
When he was the champ, like Hack would say he would try to lock him in his hotel room the night before he fought.
So he couldn't snort.
Yeah, so he couldn't go out, and then he said he'd come and the tape would be broken. He's like, he went out all night. Then he'd go out and win the world champ, and then as soon as he stopped doing that, he said his best camp he's ever been, the most sober he's ever been, was against Rich Franklin. And then
he lost.
And then he ended up getting knocked out after he broke Rich Franklin's arm.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild, bro.
We've been, I don't know if it's an open secret or not about Chuck, but nobody watches this podcast anyway when it's just us.
Yeah.
But I've been around him a couple of times, and he's pretty far gone. And I had said something to you like, "Oh man, you think it's punch drunk?" And do you think a lot of guys like party too hard and that messes them up more than fighting, or what do you think?
Oh, that's a tough one, bro. Because, the thing with the NFL that a lot of people don't want to say about the problem of concussions is drugs. Like, dude, there's so much abuse of pain pills, steroids, all that. So, I mean, it's tough to say, but then, like, football's a different beast, bro. You're, like, running down, and all of a sudden some 300-pound guy will smash you at full speed,
With a weapon.
With a weapon.
Which is a helmet.
But then I've also met fighters that are punch drunk.
Yeah.
That have gone punch drunk.
Who's that one very famous case, the Asian guy, where it shows them, like, 10 years apart?
Yeah, Nam Fan.
Yeah.
And I've known Nam Fan a long time, and I remembered him when he didn't have an Asian accent, and now he's got a thick Asian accent. But bro, the dude's fought hundreds of fights. Every weekend he was doing a fight, getting knocked out, just like constantly. So like there is that. And these guys, like Glover was saying, you don't see that much hard sparring anymore where people used to knock each other out in sparring and stuff like that. So I think it's getting better. Is it safe? Absolutely not, bro. Are you going to get some brain injury? Probably, with some TBIs? Yeah.
I was watching, so in other current events right now, what's just come out this week or last week or two is a secondary view of Justin Gaethje's knockout after Holloway. And it's showing his seizure.
Yeah.
And we even saw this. We were here in Vegas for Bryce Mitchell's seizure.
Yes. That one is so crazy.
That one was really violent. Gaethje's, we weren't there in person, obviously, but it's still kind of slight, though. You can't really see it that much. But I was reading something that there's a lot of seizures with. It's just basically the body sending out signals like, hey, come to. But also I've read that it's a real, I don't know, I'm sure you haven't done any research because it would require reading. But they say it's such a genetic crapshoot on if the brain injuries are going to make you into brain dead or not.
Yeah, that's like kind of the latest thing too, is like that. But I think there's like two different types. I remember Coach Hackelman, he was a nurse and he'd always talk about it. And he's like, when someone gets knocked,
nurse, huh?
When you get knocked out, you see him.
Sorry, just to clear it.
Yeah, or even the doc I talked to.
But male nurse.
He'll fuck you up, bro. I would be very careful. He would beat your ass. And out of all of the people on, he's the most likely to hit you or stab you. Yeah, I know. But he was always saying, like, and even like I train, the fight doc, Doc Finitry.
Yeah.
And so I always talk to him and like we watch. And so he was talking about the difference between like your body going in, like when you get knocked out, because that's a natural contraction. But then when you see people go out, and he's like, that's complete, I guess, opposite wiring. So like that's when shit will get real dangerous. And I wonder about the seizure. And I asked him, he's like, well, sometimes the seizure could just be your body naturally trying to catch breath,
sending signals.
So you never know. But then, it's obviously not fucking good for you.
Yeah.
But that Bryce Mitchell one, man, that was scary.
Yeah, but how do people feel about it now? They're probably pretty pumped about it.
Bro, actually thinking of side bet, the biggest bet right now, if you're out there and you want to make some money, Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva. Bryce is plus 450,
yeah,
dude.
But I was down there in Seattle when Gene Silva just fought, where he stood over the guy like, do you want me to keep going on this?
Yeah.
He's a monster.
No, I'm not saying Gene Silva's not a monster, but is he a plus 400 monster?
But you saw how
negative?
You saw what Bryce did against a big bomber in who was that? Sandhagen? No, who put him out last? Emmett Smith. No,
Well,
Josh
Emmett.
Josh
But Josh Emmett is also, I think, a D2 wrestler, so it's a lot different. Like, he can't just take him down. While Gene Silva's been taken down a lot, bro. He gets taken down pretty easy. He fought, who's that one, like, Canadian, Middle Eastern guy that he kickboxed that was a kickboxer that took Gene Silva down 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? I just don't think Bryce is going to even strike with him. Bryce is just going to go across the cage, get a hold of him, take him down, and the difference is he's not going to get up against Bryce. You know? That's my big underdog pick.
The thing is, I don't think you can get to the UFC level without being able to at least. I mean, look at and we'll talk about Henry and Son.
So who was it that Gene Silva fought?
Just recently?
Not just recently, not the knockout. The one where it was like a decision. I think he ended up winning.
Well, he's won his last 3 fights by knockout.
Oh no, it was a late knock. That's what it was.
That was Drew Dober,
No, before that.
Charles Jourdain.
Yeah, and he
then-
took him down a bunch, right?
Yeah, I
When
think
the
so.
knockout was in the third, or
It was second round.
second, yeah.
Back
But
in
anyways,
June.
he gets to his hips, takes him down.
But the point I'm trying to make is that you can't really get to the level that they're at in the UFC now and not be able to somewhat stop takedowns.
True.
Like look at and we'll talk about Henry's fight, but look at Henry and Song. Henry is an Olympic wrestler, and he couldn't get him taken down. Right?
But you know where his Song trains? Team Alpha Male. So all of Song's training partners are some of the best 35 wrestlers ever in the world to do it.
And also, one of the main training partners, I don't know if he's a coach or not, has one of the most profound butt chins in human history.
You're right. Yeah. Exactly, bro.
He probably wipes that thing.
Yeah, he probably does, dude. And that's the thing. Is like Uriah would just probably wrestle him all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a tough fight, bro, for Henry to come back to. To be honest, like
so obviously I've got a relationship with Henry now. He's anxious to do it. I think he should. Honestly, if I was him, I'd want to fight somebody bigger than Song. I feel like he deserves it. But he wants to run that one back because he felt like it was bullshit. I think I was in attendance, and I'll tell you my own side of things too. But he almost gets blinded. I mean, he's a half inch away from taking that thing in the pupil, and then Sung comes back out with the fingers.
Yeah.
I mean, what was your opinion on that as a fighter? Bullshit.
bullshit, bro. But then here's the thing: as a fighter, what's the consequence? I could poke him in the fucking eye 100 times, and there's not going to be one foul. There's not going to be missing. You know what I mean?
Did you see the video that Henry posted of Jason in the back saying, "If you poke the eyes, I'm going to have to take a point"? And he said that before the fight.
Really?
And he didn't do it.
They never do it, bro. And I believe, just like any other sport, a foul's a foul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a fight? Yeah, it's a fight. But at the end of the day, it's a sport. It's monitored by
A commissioner.
A commissioner. You know what I mean? We're all paying money. We all know the rules to the sport. So I think like they need to make it where, okay, 1, there's a point. 2 points if you can continue. And if you can't continue, the guy automatically wins the fight. Happened to me, bro. I got poked in the eye against a dude named Miles Jury.
Yeah.
Literally could not see out of my eye. Ended up getting knocked out on the side. I couldn't see because I was like, you can't see a punch
That's the
coming.
thing is like, it was a back and forth fight. I could have seen that. I definitely think Song took the first. I was trying not to be biased. And then the third, it kind of goes to him because Henry was forced to run.
Yeah, because of the thing.
He was forced to run. But the thing is, it's like Henry would be crazy to be against an elite level striker with losing half of his field of vision.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. That's what happened to me. I was like, F it, and I went forward, and you end up getting slapped because you can't see
And so
things.
that was actually one of my toughest UFC experiences ever because obviously, I mean, Henry and me are boys, and he
Get his
obviously
balls out of your mouth. It was just like, honestly, I can smell his cock off your mouth from here, dude. Like,
It is a nice
easy.
cock, I'll be honest.
Yeah, apparently. That's what I want to know, though. How does it work? He's so little. Like, do you have to pick him up?
No, but it's huge. I just get down on the ground.
Okay.
But the thing is, obviously he garners a lot of hate. I mean, he's a polarizing character. So for me to be in the crowd, and they don't know that I'm homies with them, so I'm just another guy.
I bet Seattle hated him.
And they were, at first they were all USA, they were all on Henry's side.
Oh.
But because he was sitting down trying to recover, they all turn on him because the mob is so fickle, right? And so then they're all screaming at him and they're like, "Fuck you," and all this. And then the lady next to me, I'll tell you, I was really like trying not to fight people, right? Lady next to me goes, "I'm not buying the eye poke." And I was like, "Are you blind?" it went into it. I was trying not to fight. To me, it'd be the equivalent of like if you were in a fight. But the thing is that local fights, which is all I ever see with these guys, like we're not going to be in a crowd and Julian's my boy. They're not going to be like the whole crowd. Yeah, I hate you. Yeah. So we have to like defend our boy on it.
Or some lady's going to be like, that guy's a fat, like saying things like that.
It's just local fights, so their family's gonna be happy for the guy who won, but there's no hate going around because that's gonna turn into problems, right? But in a UFC fight, it feels removed, and so my boy's in there trying to recover, and people are like, they're all calling him triple beef or triple bitch and stuff.
Really?
And I'm like, dude, I'm like trying not to fight people because. I'm like, they're not going to know that they're just having fun. The thing is, if I didn't know Henry, I'd probably be in the crowd like, yeah,
bro.
I paid for this fight.
Yeah. I'm the worst fan when I'm in the crowd. Well, I mean, we are bad fans when we're in the crowd. Like, if we don't know them.
Yeah, but that's also been such a phenomenon for me. Is like, just the other day. Like it's so interesting to me that when you go to a fight, you're rooting for your guy, right? And then eventually you end up at some point, especially in our line of work, we end up meeting the other guy.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he's a cool guy. Right? So the other day, like you remember at PFL, Hadzi fought what's his name? Elvin?
Oh yeah, that
right.
Yeah.
And so of course we're like, yeah, Hadzi, get him, but then
Haji.
But Hadzi, right? I didn't say Haji. But yeah, Hadzi again, and you want the other guy to lose, and and your brain is a piece of shit, whatever. He's bad. Yeah. But then by circumstance, the other day, I was at dinner with Elvin because of Esteban Ribovic.
Oh yeah, they're training together. Yeah.
And so I took them all out to eat at the Stratosphere. And it's just the coolest dude. And I'm like, wow, it's such a weird phenomenon to root against somebody until you sit in a room with him. You're like, wow, he's just a cool dude,
bro. Just like that Moda guy that almost took my eye out. For years, I've hated that guy, and then I just hung out with him. I was like, you know what? He's a cool dude. And that was an accident,
Yeah, and that's honestly, I mean, I think it's been a lot of being around fighters and being around guys I grew up with. But it's actually, I'm not saying I'm some enlightened man, but it's helped my empathy in my life. Like, I don't really get road rage that much anymore because I'm like, that guy's he's probably a cool guy too. Probably a cool guy too,
That's what training does for you, bro. I really think that's why Glover wants you to train, because he sees your weak soul.
I think he'd be afraid if he got me in the training room because I'd beat his ass.
Yeah, well, Al, bro, he trains Moneyberg. You know that, right?
Hey, I'm not going to comment on Moneyberg because I think I'm about to see him this weekend.
Yeah.
And he's a black belt under Jake Shields.
Brown belt, yeah. I can make shit. I can talk shit. As a black belt, I can still talk shit. I'm fine. Yeah, but he might beat your ass, bro. I'd be careful.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he got you. So I see that you're wearing your man crushes.
Dricus Duplessis.
You see that talk about him and Alex? What do you think?
Here, the thing is, I think I don't want to watch any of the guys any guys that we've had on the podcast. I don't want to watch them fight each other.
Alex. You don't want to watch them fight Alex.
And Alex, I think Alex beats him, obviously.
Really?
He's just so, I don't think Dricus' wrestling is, or what's his discipline? It's not Sambo. It's Jiu-Jitsu, or what did Ronda Rousey do?
Judo.
Yeah, and Dricus is a judo guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think his judo is strong enough to beat Alex on the floor. So it'll go to a decision. And if they stand and bang, it doesn't matter how sloppy Dricus is. Pereira just sits and waits.
Yeah.
The way he walked down Sean that one time.
He'll just wait for his opening. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you got to take Alex.
I think he's also too tall for him. Don't you think, on the amateur level, it's usually the shorter guy who wins because he's a lot denser.
Yeah.
But I feel like on the professional level, height is a real advantage.
It is. Length is a real advantage, right? And, bro, that's even like, what about, Dricus and Bilal are talking. What about that one?
Oh, Dricus would beat the shit out of Bilal.
You think so?
Oh, for sure.
I don't know, man. That's a tougher fight.
I don't think... tougher. I honestly am shocked, and not to say too much. I know he's your boy, and I think we're having him on later tonight. But...
I'll bring it up.
Yeah. I don't think Bilal's, a very, expected champion. You wouldn't watch him and be like, oh, that's the champ. You know what I mean? Honestly, you'd think Kamaru would be the champ.
Well, I mean, after watching his last fight, though, bro, I was like, how can anyone beat Bilal? He's so disciplined with all of his boxing. He's so clean. His wrestling is so disciplined. He just comes forward. You can't take him down. He doesn't get tired. The only thing you can do is knock him out, which is hard to do now because he's got way better boxing and he doesn't give anyone space. So he's hard to knock out because he's just coming in on you the whole time.
I don't know. Maybe it's just, and this is really where I'm a casual fan, he's just kind of a boring fighter.
Yeah.
It's like I can't even watch a Pantoja fight. Pantoja is the most boring.
I'll give you that one, man.
So that's the thing is like when guys just, they wrestle F people, it's to me
the
it's
casual. What about his last fight though? That was
who did he fight? Leon?
Yeah, Leon. That was an exciting ass fight, bro.
I don't remember it.
He just
I don't remember the name and I don't remember the fight. He's hard to remember, honestly. You disagree?
No comment. Anyways, but I was gonna say though, you know what's funny? You were talking earlier about Ronda Rousey's, fake coach and stuff. One time I was fighting in Boston or something, and I ended up losing because it was the most distracting thing that's ever happened to me before a fight. I'm trying to warm up in my locker room, and the UFC puts you in like locker rooms individually, so it's usually just your camp and then one other camp, right? You're not in there with like a million people. You're just in there 1 or 2 camps. So it happened to be, what's his name? Manny, the...
Pacquiao?
No, the guy that used to train out of, he's Armenian. He fought out of Ronda Rousey's camp too. Manny Gambirian. He was fighting, but Ronda Rousey was in his corner and her coach was in the corner. And it was the most distracting thing, bro. I'm trying to warm up for my fight. And they're like, Ronda starts crying because her coach was helping, like her weird coach kept on interrupting my workout. Like me and my coach are trying to warm up. He's like, hey, let me show you how to do a jab. And Coach Hack's like, no, we're good. Leave us alone. We don't want to learn from you, bro. Keeps on interrupting us. Then he starts showing something, falls down, twists his ankle, and he's like, ah! He's like hurting in the back. So Ronda just starts bawling, crying. And I'm like, I didn't even warm up for the fight, bro. And then she left the locker room. I was like, and my coach was like, all right, let's warm up. I was like, okay, we gotta warm up, bro. Get in the zone, blah, blah, blah. I start trying to warm up and I was like trying to warm up for it. And it was so funny because then she left crying. And then before I was like, she comes back and then she's sobbing in the corner. And then they're like all holding it. It was just the most distracting thing I've ever had. I ended up losing the fight and I blame that 100% on those people.
But how'd she look?
I'm not a fan.
Really?
No.
Have you seen her in that one Sports Illustrated issue?
Yeah, bro. I'm not a fan because all she did was cry the whole time when I met her.
Well, that's...
And it ruined it. But let's get into 313. You down?
Do it.
So our first, obviously, should we start with I just want to go main card, right?
Yeah, of course.
Wait, do you want to come watch it?
I've never cared about an undercard fighter. Honestly, before you say that, my one greatest regret is me thinking like, oh, I want to get Madik's autograph. Because that was back when all UFC fighters were cool to me. He's an undercard, dude. What was I doing? That was truly shameful.
All right. He's going to beat your ass, too. But, the first fight is our boy Bobby Green's back.
Oh, jeez.
I know. He's fighting Ruffy, some killer Brazilian kid.
I've seen that.
Yeah, that's a tough one, bro.
I think Bobby's basically just a stepping stone at this point.
Yeah, bro. It sucks to say. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy, but
interesting. He's a good vet. Thanks for your service.
He was a strange individual. You remember he came? I'm not gonna say too much. Remember he was in a room just like this with us, and what he was talking about, and then all of his chains were fake.
Yeah. That was kind of interesting.
That was tough.
And then there's some that Lemos girl and the Luciano. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one though, banger. Josh Emmett, Alan Arnold.
That's not this card.
It's not?
No.
Oh, they moved it?
Yeah.
What do you got next over?
Jalen Turner, Ignacio.
Oh yeah, that's right, dude. Wait,
Jalen Turner and who?
Ignacio Bahamodenis.
Well, I don't know. Jalen Turner, he would have won at 300 if he hadn't. Was that the last time that he fought? Was that 300 or no change? 300. Was that the last time Jalen Turner fought?
He's just a problem because his
He
height.
fought
He fought Moicano.
Yeah, Moicano.
Oh yeah, Moicano subbed him out.
Well, he knocked him out. Well, he knocked him like flat.
Yeah.
And they tried to do the walk away.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to get that $300,000 bonus.
Yeah.
And then he got back up and he beat him.
Yeah, that's true.
Jalen Turner, I think he always reminds me of Jar Jar Binks. There's a Star Wars reference.
There's a Star Wars. I've never seen Star Wars, bro. That's crazy to me, dude. I still can't believe that, bro.
But yeah, Jalen Turner's an animal. I think he's a real problem. I don't know who the other guy is, but I think Jalen Turner will win. Who's that next?
Then it's the co-main, right?
Yep.
Justin Gaethje.
Oh, and the guy who came in short notice. Who is it?
Fiziev.
Fiziev.
He's already beat Fiziev before, hasn't he?
Yeah, but it might be a different fight, bro. I don't know. I think Fiziev might wrestle him, but I don't know. I think Justin beats him again. Like,
I think Justin beats him.
Fiziev's the favorite.
is he? What's the
line?
He's minus 170. Gaethje's plus 140.
Really?
Oh,
Even on short notice.
because Gaethje's coming off that knockout,
knockout.
and then
Yeah.
that's what I mean, being released or whatever now.
Released what?
Like, they just released a video of him getting knocked
Oh,
out
yeah,
all
yeah.
over the internet.
There's him released.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the
And so like everyone's like, no, maybe, but I don't know, bro.
No, I'd put money on Gaethje.
I might put money on Gaethje too, because what do you think Fizzy is gonna do? Just wrestle him, like?
Yeah, probably.
And that's what he's gonna try to do. And Justin's a scrambler. He's gonna kick him, punch him, and on 2 weeks' notice, you can't win a wrestling match on 2 weeks' notice, bro.
No,
It's
I don't
hard.
think
The conditioning just won't be there.
Yeah, and then I think we both agree on Pereira. It's rare that you and I agree on a card, but I think this one feels pretty obvious.
And I keep saying that, but then there's part of me that's kind of worried for him. What's going to happen with the wrestling?
The thing is,
that's the biggest what if right
He's
now.
not going to get submitted.
You don't think so?
No, and he's not going to get ground and pounded. He's too long. So if Alex loses, it's a decision.
A decisionator, Ankalaev's going to go in and wrestle him.
Yeah.
And like everyone's excited because Ankalaev has had some gnarly, like cool finishes, But remember like the Johnny Walker one was kind of weird. And
Johnny Walker's a goof.
yeah, and he's kind of a goof, you know what I mean? So I just don't know what Ankalaev's bringing other than his wrestling. So I can just see it being this boring ass wrestling fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm kind of worried about.
I'd say it's a Beheaded knockout. I bet he stuffs him. Like I was saying with the Cejudo Song fight, is that Song stuffed him about 3, 4, 5 times. Plus Henry's leg was compromised. He had to switch stances.
Yeah.
I'd say he gets stuffed a couple times, and then he gets frustrated. He tries to stand with him, and I bet Beheaded puts him out in the third.
See, I can see Ankalaev shooting in, pushing him up on the fence, probably getting an early takedown or even like a slow takedown, kind of sitting on that. Happen again in the second round. But I feel like third round, fourth round, he's going to be able to start stuffing it down. And I kind of think a fourth round knockout is kind of what I'm seeing. Because, Ankalaev's I think he's going to come out smart. I think he's going to come out, throw one punch.
It's frustrating when you keep getting peppered from a distance.
Bro, but this is the thing we haven't figured out yet. How good is Alex's grappling?
Magomed is, listed as a striker on ESPN. He doesn't have a ton of takedowns.
Yeah.
He's never had a submission win. His last fight he won by decision. It was kind of drawn out.
Yeah.
But I think it might be on the feet a little more than you guys expect.
You think so?
I think it gets stuffed a couple times. I think it stays on the feet. I think he gets knocked out.
I see Ankalaev pushing him to the fence, trying to hold him there, wear him down, and just keep wrestling. And I think eventually Alex is going to figure it out, be able to break apart and find the knockout. And like, can I see Ankalaev winning a decisionator? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I could see it.
But every great champ has a boring fight. Look at Izzy versus Yoel.
Yeah, Yoel.
There's going to be some stall fights that happen.
And look at Alex and Paul, what is his name? The Polish guy.
Jan Blachowicz.
Jan
Yeah,
Blachowicz.
that was a pretty boring fight. Remember that? That was
I think there was
pretty
a lot of
unexciting.
danger involved. Yeah, so.
And that's all Jan did.
Or are you talking with the split decision? Or because then he fought Prochazka twice, knocked him out.
Yeah,
Knocked him out.
the
He's
split
talking about
decision.
Yeah, that was Jan.
Yeah, Jan. When he fought him in Salt Lake, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm Ankalaev, who had the best success against him was
Blachowicz.
yeah. And what did he do? Jan went across, shoved him against the fence, held him there, and just kept on forcing these boring takedowns. So I can see it being a fucking boring fight. You know what I mean? Like, Ankalaev's gonna win the most boring fight, or Alex is getting a knockout late in third or fourth.
Well, we shall see. It is good to be back, my brother.
Oh, feels so good.
Guys, you know what the move is as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning into The Coach and the Casual. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and share it with your friends. Thanks again.